All right, let's jump right into this explainer and look at how our incredibly powerful brains are, well, actually running on some pretty outdated, glitchy software. I mean, think of your mind as the most advanced supercomputer on the entire planet. But it's a supercomputer that's inexplicably still running an operating system built for surviving the ancient savannah. We naturally assume that as we gain intelligence and expertise and all this new technology, our minds just become sharper and more objective. But what if the exact opposite is true? What if your intelligence, your years of hard-earned training, and just your fundamental human biology are actually actively betraying you?
To really understand our mental blind spots, we're going to synthesize the source material into 5 distinct chapters. We'll hit the hijacked brain, the curse of knowledge, the dopamine slot machine, the science of social pain, and finally wrap up with outsmarting your own mind. Let's get to it.
Starting with Chapter 1, the hijacked brain and why smarter isn't always better. We almost always equate being smart with being right, assuming a high IQ is like this impenetrable shield against cognitive errors. But get this, the bizarre case of Nobel laureate Kary Mullis proves that intelligence can actually be a massive trap. This is a guy with a genuinely brilliant mind. He literally invented the PCR test, a tool that completely revolutionized modern biological research. Yet this very same genius publicly suspected he had been abducted by an alien that showed up in the form of a glowing raccoon. No, seriously, he was also a devoted follower of astrology and tragically spent decades denying that HIV causes AIDS. How on earth does the same brain that decodes complex genetic structures fall for such obvious absurdities?
Well, as the visual changes here, we can see it comes down to a crucial concept called disrationality. It's this massive mismatch between intelligence and rationality. Think of your intelligence, your IQ, like a car engine. A higher IQ just means you have way more horsepower. But rationality? Rationality is the brakes in the steering wheel. If you have a massive, incredibly fast engine but absolutely no brakes, a higher IQ just means you're going to crash into oncoming traffic a whole lot faster than anyone else. Smart people are incredibly vulnerable to motivated reasoning. They don't use their brainpower to find the truth. They use it to build these elaborate, super sophisticated justifications to protect their existing beliefs. And let's be honest, their ego.
And to put that into perspective, look at this data from Yale researcher Dan Kahan. He gave people raw data and asked them to solve a math problem about gun control. Now, when highly numerate, intelligent people looked at the numbers, you'd totally expect them to easily get it right. But if the correct mathematical answer contradicted their political identity, these highly intelligent people were actually 45% more likely to get the math wrong. 45%! They unconsciously used their superior brain power to find non-existent flaws in the data just to protect their tribe. Their intelligence wasn't a tool for truth at all. It was just a weapon for propaganda.
Which brings us to Section 2, the curse of knowledge, and what happens when expertise blinds us. Because this motivated reasoning doesn't just happen with fringe beliefs or politics. It happens in the most professional, high-stakes environments on Earth.
Picture this. It's 2004, right after the tragic Madrid train bombings. The FBI arrested an American lawyer named Brandon Mayfield, claiming his fingerprint was a 100% positive match on a bag of detonators found in Spain. And the FBI forensic team, widely considered the absolute best in the business, was completely, unquestioningly certain. But there was one massive problem. Brandon Mayfield hadn't even left the United States. He literally wasn't the bomber. So how does the world's leading expert team make a catastrophic million-dollar error, completely ignoring glaring differences in the actual prints?
What's happening here is something called cognitive entrenchment. Years of intense training create what psychologists call chunking or mental schemas. Basically, an expert's brain gets so hyper-efficient that it literally stops seeing individual pieces of information. It just runs on autopilot, scanning for the gist of a situation. The FBI experts were so hungry for a match that their entrenched brains just built a story to explain away any mismatched details. Their expertise caused them to suffer from earned dogmatism, which is that really dangerous feeling that your credentials somehow give you the right to be closed-minded.
All right, Section 3, the dopamine slot machine. Just as our expertise can blind us, our deeply ingrained reward systems can be completely hacked by modern tech.
Most people think dopamine is the happiness chemical. Actually, scratch that. Pretty much everyone thinks it's the substance of pleasure. But modern neuroscience shows us it is actually all about the craving and the anticipation of a reward. It doesn't make you enjoy something, it makes you intensely want it. Think about that sudden feeling when you smell your favorite food when you're starving. That urgent, pulling craving, that is dopamine at work. And let me tell you, the tech industry understands this biological glitch perfectly.
As you'll see here, every single swipe, scroll, or ping on your phone is an unpredictable reward. It operates exactly like a digital slot machine. Psychologists call this a variable reward system. When you open an app, your brain literally has no idea what's coming. Might be a funny video, might be some shocking news, or hey, it might be nothing at all. And it's that sheer unpredictability that conditions your brain to just keep checking for novelty. You aren't scrolling because you're always rewarded. You're scrolling because you might be.
And here is the really terrifying consequence. This endless stimulation makes normal life feel unbearably slow. When your brain adapts to getting a brand new joke or a massive surprise every 3 seconds, sitting down to read a book or just enjoying the creative space of boredom suddenly feels physically agonizing. It isn't that you've suddenly become lazy, it's that your brain's baseline for stimulation has been artificially hijacked. We're so used to the slot machine that quiet moments, the exact moments where our best ideas usually pop up, now just make us deeply, deeply uncomfortable.
Let's switch gears to Chapter 4, the science of social pain. This is an intensely personal glitch. Why does an unanswered text, or being left out of a group, or a bad romantic rejection feel so utterly, physically devastating? Society tells us to just brush it off, right? But our biology tells a much different story. There was this wild fMRI study back in 2003 where researchers had participants play this super simple virtual ball-tossing game called Cyberball. Eventually, the researchers quietly rigged the game to just exclude the participant. And as they sat there in the scanner, being left out of a completely meaningless virtual game with strangers, their brains lit up like a Christmas tree. Specifically, the anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula flared to life. Guys, these are the exact same pain alarms in the brain that trigger when you experience literal physical injury. To your brain, there is literally no difference between a broken leg and a broken social bond. So why does this happen? Well, traits that kept our ancestors alive on the savannah are now actively harming us. Back then, social rejection wasn't just sad. It meant exile from the tribe, which meant literal death by starvation or a predator. That's why the pain is so intense today. It's a primal survival alarm going off over a read receipt. Similarly, our brain's desperate need for pattern recognition kept us safe from physical threats in the wild. But today, that same trait causes the rigid confirmation bias we saw with the FBI. The hardware is beautifully designed. It's just designed for a world that simply doesn't exist anymore. Which brings us to our fifth and final section, outsmarting your own mind. We might be stuck with this glitchy hardware, but the good news? We can absolutely patch the software. To beat the intelligence trap and that curse of expertise we talked about, we have to consciously fight against earned dogmatism. We have to embrace the Japanese Zen concept of shoshin. It translates to beginner's mind. See, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are very few. We need to intentionally look at fine details as if we know absolutely nothing at all, maintaining genuine intellectual humility. Just like Benjamin Franklin did, we have to train ourselves to constantly actively doubt our own judgment. So here is your real-world evidence-based toolkit. First, take a strategic pause. In medicine, just taking a few seconds to revisit an initial hypothesis boosts diagnostic accuracy by up to 40%. Second, practice self-distancing, also known as Solomon's paradox. When you're stressed, view your problem in the third person. Ask yourself, why is your name feeling so threatened right now? You are always much wiser at solving other people's problems than your own, so trick your brain into thinking it's someone else's problem. And third, use gradual exposure. Slowly expose yourself to minor, totally safe rejections to gently desensitize your brain's evolutionary pain alarm. And on top of that, you can completely reframe how you experience life. Treat rejection not as some final definition of your worth, but simply as data. Every no is just information guiding you. Soothe that neural echo of rejection by talking to yourself with the exact same self-compassion you'd offer your best friend. And please, reclaim your hijacked attention by intentionally leaving your phone in another room and just allowing yourself to be bored. Sit in the silence. It is going to feel so uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is literally just your brain healing and adjusting back to a normal human speed. There's this great quote from the founder of McDonald's, Ray Kroc, that perfectly summarizes the danger of thinking we have it all figured out. He said, "As long as you're green, you're growing. As soon as you're ripe, you start to rot." The curse of expertise and the intelligence trap are essentially the rot of a mind that firmly thinks it is perfectly ripe. Intelligence without humility is really just a super fast track to being wrong. So I'll leave you with this. The next time you feel the devastating sting of a minor rejection, or the magnetic pull of your phone screen, or that overwhelming urge to prove that you are absolutely the smartest person in the room, just pause, take a breath, and ask yourself this one crucial question to regain control. Are you using your brain, or is your brain using you?
Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep growing, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.